is the first.
I should return.
Trying to kick Sean out.
He didn't say that.
She didn't
Okay,
think
yeah.
about that. So I don't know. Just so I said.
Sit next to you every time? What am I doing?
Yeah. Jen, my wife. Yeah, yeah. No, no.
that, we will bring the meeting to order. Let's start by standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. We could be patient. Good evening, everyone. Do you have a copy of the Sunshine Law to read? You should have it memorized already, but before we...
Take a look. I'm sorry. I do not.
Okay, take roll, and
Okay.
I'll try to catch up.
Gotcha. Ms. Delgado? Mr. Johnson?
Here.
Mr. Rabinowitz?
Here.
Ms. Sealski?
Here.
Mr. Sondergaard?
Here.
Mr. Tobin?
Here.
Mr. Topping?
Here.
Sorry, Chair Topping. Mr. Sukan?
Here.
Ms. Patel?
Here.
Mr. Durer? Here. Mr. Malvone? Do I also call the professionals?
Typically not.
Okay, thank you.
We will note that Mr. Cosenza is not here tonight. That being said, and we logged Mr. Rabinowitz in, even though he was just walking in the room. I will paraphrase the Open Public Meeting Act. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given publicly in the Star Ledger and online for information in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. That's it. So with that, we start tonight's agenda. We will note if anyone in this room is here for the application at 272 Lake Avenue, applicant seeking preliminary and final site plan variances, C variances, and waivers for paving a gravel lot at 272 Lake Avenue. That meeting is being adjourned for tonight. It is being postponed, we think, for next month,
Correct, December 11th.
December 11th, and no additional notification will be given for that formally. So if you're here for that, that item is not being heard tonight. So we'll start off with just some housekeeping resolutions from last month. There are 4 resolutions to pass. The first resolution, 25-1427, 55 Oak Avenue. Applicant promotes demolition of a screen porch and an addition. Would somebody like to make a motion on that resolution?
What's the motion? Move
To approve the resolution.
Move to approve.
We have a second.
Second.
All right.
I can't. There are only like 4.
Roll
think
call.
I was
Do you,
here.
do you have who was here?
Yes, I will only roll call the people who are eligible to vote.
Correct.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Chairman Topping?
Yes.
Mr. Sukan?
Yes.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
Mr. Durer?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. The next resolution is item 25-1422, Ennebong Branch at 242 Crystal Street. This is variance relief for sidewalks. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve that resolution?
Move to approve.
Second.
I'm sorry, who's second?
Sukan.
I'm sorry, you went against that application.
Oh, thank you. I don't second.
Thank you for noting that. Would someone else like to?
I'll second.
Okay.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Chairman Topping,
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, the third out of four resolutions is item 25-1411. Stephen Pilardis, applicant to construct a new single-family dwelling at 148 Chestnut. The application was about an accessory structure. Somebody like to make a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Chairman Topping,
Yes.
Mr. Sukan,
Yes.
Ms. Patel,
Yes.
Mr. Dare.
Yes.
Thank you.
And the final item for the paperwork, the resolution at 21-1303, 195 Main Street. This was an amended site plan at the Jack's residential unit to modify landscaping and the sign. Someone like to make a motion on that?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Chairman Topping,
Yes.
Mr. Sukan,
Yes.
Ms. Patel,
Yes.
Mr. Dare.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. We will move into new business, and we have one item to hear tonight, one application. That's item 25-1426, Scott Muir at 36 Delaware Avenue. Applicant is seeking various C variances for a first and second floor addition. So, step on up.
Do you have electronic copies? Do you have any electronic?
I do. I'm prepared to
Oh,
project here. Bring a device.
yes.
Yeah.
So I have an HDMI.
Yep.
I think it's, well, let's find out.
Thank you.
I was going to say C plus myself. You're both generous. Byron's more generous.
The floor is yours. I guess state your name, and are you the attorney or the applicant?
I'm Scott. Yeah, I'm the applicant. I live at 36 Delaware. Yeah.
All right, I wasn't sure. So if you're the applicant, I'm going to swear you in.
Yep.
All right. Do you swear or affirm, just raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okey-doke. All right, so you just state your name. It's here on the applicant, but just state it for the record.
My name is Scott Muir.
All right, and you can take that out if you want to, but whatever you do, it is being recorded and broadcast online, so just make sure you speak into the microphone.
Understood.
All right.
You're in receipt of the memo from LRK? Okay. So we can, the floor is yours to present, to tell the board a bit about what you're looking to do, and then if you want to address some of the items in there, and then we'll ask you questions and see where it goes from there.
Thank you. Yes, I'm happy to do so. Well, first of all, hi, I'm Scott. My family and I, we've been living here in Metuchen for about 8.5 years. We moved here 2 weeks before my daughter was born. I wouldn't do that again. We were very busy during that time. And we've been at 36 Delaware Avenue throughout, and we love our time here. Since that time, now my daughter is 8 years old, my son is 6, they still share a room. We've anticipated that this time is coming. We have one of those classic Cape Cod houses. It's old, we need a bunch of stuff done on the house, and what we have determined is that the best thing for us so that we can make this home into a forever home is to do the renovations that you can see in front of you. Actually, just quickly checking, do you have all the paperwork that I handed to Joanna? You've got the application packet, you've got the designs, that's great. Yes. I am gonna be providing you with a supplemental packet as well when we get to the discussion around sidewalks. Okay, and I'll project that as well. So I've prepared a number of remarks which I'll be reading. I'm prepared to go line by line or code by code. My house, as we're going to see, is in a highly irregular lot. It's already within the setbacks. It's this kind of strange wedge shape. So the house in its existing state is in violation, I think, of probably every single code in the book. So whatever we do, I'm going to have to be here and see what we can figure out. So how would you like to proceed? I have a couple of proposals, which is that there are a number of items we can maybe consolidate a few. I can make my case, and then you can do the back and forth questioning.
Yeah, so I guess, yeah, as a little background for, many applications come to us because of existing non-conforming, aspects of the lot. And your lot on Delaware is an exceptional, example of what it means to not fit the bill of, of zoning. So there is a bit of understanding already at the board level of just what some of the criteria are. So I think if you were to maybe walk us through what you're looking to do, maybe show us the plans and the intent, and maybe a couple points on, generally for the board's benefit of, where some of the non-compliance sits and, how you've tried to balance that. So I think, does that make sense?
Very good. Happy to do all of that. So just a very quick narrative. All that we're hoping to do is to transform the Cape Cod house that has the classic 2 bedrooms upstairs into more of a colonial house where we'll go straight up, and that will provide us to have 3 bedrooms upstairs, one for my daughter, one for my son, and one for my wife and I. Downstairs, everyone who has been in the Cape Cod house knows how small the kitchen is. It's like this. I've got about this amount of space to prepare the evening meal, to make my kids lunch for the next day, and the dining table is full of Lego and fruit and all the stuff that is. We would love, my wife and I, we love to cook, we love to bake, our kids love to help. We would love a kitchen area, and so on the architectural designs that you'll see there, I can also project. We're hoping to have a functional kitchen which we'll place behind the garage in a place that we have a wooden deck existing right in that footprint. So no extra land is going to be taken, just part of our deck will be replaced by a 1-story kitchen addition. And furthermore, in the front of the house, we have a current very old school porch with jalousie windows. We would love to use that space, which is currently now just for storage. My kids' rain boots and bikes are in there. We would love to kind of move that to the garage and instead use that as an extra, well, like a larger living room area for my growing family. That's the basic narrative. Chris put it well in that memorandum that you mentioned. It's a modest renovation, but because, again, it's the exceptionally irregular lot shape, I'm standing here before you.
Perhaps if it's, for some reason I can't locate it, perhaps for the board's benefit, you had an exhibit that showed what the setbacks overlaid on the site plan were.
Yes.
That was very evocative.
That's right. This is in your packet on page 14. So not the architectural designs, but in your packet on page 14. Yes. I'll project it here for you.
Yeah, I just thumbed past it like 4 times, so yes, we see it. Yeah.
The highlighted border here, technically, my house should squeeze into that wedge shape.
Right.
The existing house is clearly far outside it.
Yeah.
Like there's the garage, there's the front of the house. There's like the back where my office is and where our bathroom is, where upstairs the kids' room is. The patio is completely in breach. much of the deck is in breach of the setbacks, just in its existing condition. Chris recommended that I do this highlight just to,
Yes.
to your point, demonstrate the constraints that we're under given the highly irregular lot shape.
Does the board have any questions of the testimony so far? Are there any, I guess, can you walk us briefly through the exterior design and how you're going to go about, are you recladding the house? Are you,
Yeah.
just tell us a little bit about that.
Thank you. Yes, one of mine, actually, really is my wife's desire was to have a house that's truly in keeping with the neighborhood. And so our architect, who has done a number of houses in that neighborhood, put together what I think is a really well-suited, well-fitting design, which I'll project now. You'll find this on your third page in the architectural designs. So it will be siding, like one of those nice kind of like slate blue, kind of darkish blue, grayish blue siding with white trim, probably a red front door. Everything is, like I said, in keeping, or kind of have like darker shingles on the roof. The existing garage will stay there, but it will be re-sided to fit within the house. All the windows will be replaced. It'll be a beautiful renovated house. Whereas right now, if, again, I can show you what the existing state is. It's in your packet, starting on page 19. This is what the house currently looks like. I love this house. Don't get me wrong. My wife, my kids, we love this house. We feel good when we see this house. But as you can see, it's an aging house. There are windows falling out of the jalousie frame. The winches don't open. The roof, it needs some major work done to it. It's time that we do that work, and our hope is that we get to do this in a way that we can make this a forever home.
Good. The, some of the items, I guess, Chris in his memo asked for some testimony on the C variances. I guess you've kind of covered that in terms of, I think everything you're asking for is existing non-conforming, and you're not making conditions worse. And then he asked to cover the negative criteria, give testimony such that the variances can be granted without substantial detriment to the public good and will not substantially impair the intent or purpose of the master plan. I guess, not to put words in your mouth, I think it's apparent to the board that you're not the first person to want to make improvements to a Cape Cod house in that neighborhood. So I don't want to answer for you, but I would think that, mostly sticking within your footprint, you're really not taking action that would, impact the public in any way.
I agree.
There are a couple of items that are related to the not related to the non-conforming that the board would have to, that are covered in the LRK memo. Perhaps it's easier for me to just touch on what they would be. One of them is that the board would have to give relief for parking. That's based on the fact that although there is street parking and you do have a driveway, when Chris added up the requirements of all the bedrooms that will be there, it tripped up one. So we would need to acknowledge relief from that. Consider on-street parking using the length of 23 per street to determine the number of available. He said we could do that. So there is a substantial number available on street. We just need to acknowledge, I think, in the approval, as such, it's recommended that the board determine if sufficient parking is available. So if we understand that neighborhood, I don't even think it's a design waiver.
I don't have it in front of me. I'm just curious, for a single-family residence, what's the requirement?
It says the existing driveway and single-car attached garage can park 2 vehicles, and the combination shall count 1-car garage. 2.5 spaces. So
So I'm just curious, so they've
Yeah.
got a single-car garage, that's a car, and got double long driveway that fits 2 cars. How does that not?
I think it's Chris being Chris. The thoroughness. He's pointing to the fact that technically it's up, and we're allowed to take into account the street.
So Chris is saying that this configuration currently counts as 2 parking spaces. All right? So
Correct.
how does that get arrived at? I'm not Chris, unfortunately, but I know that Chris's conclusion is that what we're looking at on this screen is 2 parking spaces, and that when you jump to 5 bedrooms, that what would be required is 3. So then what comes into play is, can the board determine,
No.
based upon, access to things like access to mass transit or ample on-street parking, which I think Chris was hinting at or recommending that
Yes.
the board should be considering the layout of the streets and where it's located, that there is ample on-street parking, but the board can determine that essentially there is adequate parking by virtue of those other factors. Ergo, they don't need to construct a 3rd parking space. They essentially have a 3rd parking space by way of these other factors. But yeah, to answer your question, I don't know what the formula is, but
Okay.
apparently what we're looking at is officially 2.0 parking spaces.
We don't consider the garage in that metric? Is that the way to understand it?
We do. Sorry.
There we
We
go.
do. So
Why'd you let me
typically-
talk? You should have taken it away.
I didn't want to interrupt you. So we do parking spaces typically is a 9 by 18 size. The driveway that we're looking at is about, sorry, I lost it. The length of it from the garage door to the front property line is 20 feet in length.
Okay.
So technically, it only meets a 1-car parking space.
Plus the garage.
Okay.
So the driveway, even though you're seeing 2 cars, in our parking space regulations, it's a 1-car parking space.
So you said 9 by 18 and 20 feet, so is it not the width, not 9 feet?
The width of it is
I think the width is adequate.
7 feet. 7 feet by 20 feet.
Right.
Sure.
Right. But, so, yes, he pointed to, we could either give relief and only require 2 spaces, or take into account that there's parking on the street. And,
Yeah, as was pointed out, he's got frontage on 3 streets, so it
Correct,
should be
yes.
more than adequate.
yes. Yes, in fact, you're prepared to have a party because you have enough curb, right?
And I'm also going to point out, because there's no sidewalk, 2 cars are, well, my mic is not on. As demonstrated in these photos in this neighborhood in front of this home, there's no sidewalk, so normally in front of a typical house. So sure, in that photo, we got 2 cars there. But if this was a home with sidewalks, you would not be able to fit 2 cars there.
Right. Okay. The other item, perhaps you could give some testimony, is about the landscape plan. There's a request here to prepare a revised plan. Given the shape of the property, it's recommended that 1 additional street tree be planted on Oakland Avenue, and 1 front yard shade tree and 1 additional flowering tree be added. Do you take any exceptions to working with the planner?
A minor one.
Oh.
Yeah, the minor exception is the word the phrase counter proposal seems really aggressive. It's not. If you want to reference the landscape plan, or we can take a look at the photos, my house is already surrounded by an abundance of trees. We have 7 mature silver maples. Actually, in the plan, I omitted a very large oak tree that overhangs my property from my wonderful neighbors, Daryl and Candice. We have an abundance of trees around our house. That said, I have no issue with Chris's recommendation that we plant an additional street tree on the Oakland Avenue side. No issue whatsoever. My wife, myself, my kids, we love. You'll see there's a bunch of vegetation all the way around our house because that's what we've been doing these past 8.5 years. Flowering trees, no problem. I don't know where I will put a shade tree, and I want to show you why. At first glance, you would think. At first glance, you would think that this area right here would be a viable place to have a shade tree. This is the part of the property that is facing upland, kind of in that wedge area. You would think, well, this is going to be a great place. But I want to draw your attention to these overhanging cables. You can also see this on the property survey, which is on page 12 of your application packet. Those cables are marked there. They are electrical cables. They're about 15 foot above the ground. Shade trees, as I take it, an example is an oak tree. At 15 feet, you've got really large limbs. It's inevitable that electrical hazards will result in a number of years. Disruption of services. If I plant a shade tree, where I would, if I could figure out how to move those electrical cables, I'm no electrician, I would, but as I take it, that's not feasible. And so my counter proposal is this. 1 street tree, as Chris recommended, on Oakland Avenue, and 2 flowering trees. And I'll place a flowering tree under there, because you can get flowering trees that can go up and their ceiling will not hit 15 feet. So that's my very minor adjustment to Chris's recommendation.
Okay. It's certainly fair and well thought through. The next item to touch on here is he writes that technically the addition bumps over the 500 square foot threshold that would trigger sidewalks, and Chris suggests that given the modest scale of the project, it's recommended that the board consider an associated payment in lieu and be waived through the granting of a variance. So I don't know, it's probably more something for the board to cover than yourself, but I reviewed the surrounding streets near you, and yes, there's not a single sidewalk to be had. There are no open architectural comments in this memo, and I think you've generally covered everything else that he wrote. So.
I do have one question. I guess could you, since the property fronts on 3 different streets, could you kind of talk about the I guess for sidewalks, like the situation on like each of those 3 streets? Because I know they're kind of different from each other.
Situation as in pedestrian traffic?
Yeah, and just like the nature of like how the property fronts on like Oakland, Upland, and Delaware, I think, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, and let's take a look at that while I'm talking about it. This is in the last couple of pages of your application packet, should you prefer to look there. This is Delaware. As is already alluded to, there are no sidewalks. In fact, I think just a few months ago, you approved 72 Delaware to be renovated without any sidewalks. And this is why, right? It's a wide street. It's a safe street. Cars go down very slowly. Coming up to my property line, if I turned around, you would see stop signs. Going onto Upland, you would also see other stop signs. And then moving on to, and so I say that because traffic is slow. You have to turn around the corners. There are stop signs. Moving on to Oakland, the only pedestrian traffic that comes this way, this is my house, excuse me, on this side. Okay. The only traffic that comes this way are people who want to go to the softball field. My daughter is one of them. It's a very quick trip for us. We just cross the road. Everyone else comes and they park there. It's one of the reasons why I planted that laurel hedge about 7 years ago. They park there and they just go straight across. There's no walking up and down. There's no utility in a sidewalk there. And so Mr. Johnson, I thank you for that question. It's a good way of me demonstrating that the value add of a proposed sidewalk on those three frontages, 250 feet, which, as Chris told me, is 5 times the average frontage length of a house in Metuchen. For me, that's excessive, an excessive hardship. There's no value add to it. There's massive value detriment, value loss to it, which I'm happy to go through. In fact, one of my neighbors has taken the time out to come down and say how he wouldn't like it. I have a petition here. You're all aware, as we come in, we have to give legal notice to all our neighbors within 200 feet. I went there. All of them unanimously have signed a petition for you. I'm happy to provide these out. More so, I can show it now. Unanimous opposition. It's really difficult to get unanimous on anything. It's unanimous. Here it is.
Yeah.
Every single person that I went to within 200 feet, and this is the same sentiment beyond, has said the following. This is what they signed.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We can't accept petitions due to the fact that they're not presently here.
Here's an affidavit signed. I've got an original copy. I followed the same format for the affidavit when I gave the documentation to Joanna. I anticipated that. I have an affidavit swearing and attesting to the fact that this is all accurate. Jim is one of the people who signed it. He can come up and talk to us. But
he can come up during the public session. I don't think we require that for what we're trying to do here.
That's fine. But I share this because I want to show you that if people in the neighborhood, there are families like mine with kids. There are families with teenagers who ride their bike and walk to school. There are people there who are much older. If there was any concern and any desire to have sidewalks, I wouldn't have been able to get a unanimous petition. And everybody wanted to let you know, the board, that they are in opposition to sidewalks on the streets in the Oakland Park neighborhood. It's what makes the neighborhood. But also they're in support of our application, my wife, my kids, myself, application to renovate our house without having an excessive financial burden into putting sidewalks in, which frankly would prohibit this project. It's that burdensome.
I think it probably gets the point across enough, just so you know that, assuming nobody's here to oppose it, that isn't necessarily support for something, but, there's been notice of what you're asking for, and if nobody's here to oppose it, that says something anyway. So, I don't know. I think maybe if you want to keep moving along.
Sure.
And if we need to come back to it, we can.
The other side of Oakland has a sidewalk, and I'm very familiar with the area from walking there myself and walking my dog there. And I think the situation as it exists is perfect, because if you want to walk on the sidewalk, all you got to do is cross the street.
Excuse me, on Oakland Avenue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Correct. Thank you.
And I think that, the landscaping requirements in town for shade trees and street trees, the wonderful trees in that neighborhood are part and parcel of how the neighborhood was planned back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And adding sidewalks across the Delaware frontage would actually do enormous damage to the root system of, so.
Yeah, in the supplemental packet, you've said the same thing that a tree surgeon has written in testimony for that. Additionally, I've got an article from 1956 saying why there are no sidewalks in the neighborhood. Yeah. So if this is of any interest, I can share it. I can also read it out. The focus is these 2 paragraphs right here. Let me zoom in for you.
With all due respect, no one is even there. We're not there. So I appreciate all the digging you did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is something that we will also discuss, but no one is adamantly up here.
Yeah, I appreciate the thoroughness. I
mean,
actually,
I'm just like letting you know, like
Yeah.
we all live in town. We know the neighborhood.
Yeah.
We roll on these houses all the time. We're not, we're just trying to get you to understand the process. We appreciate it. And we appreciate the extra effort you went to go around your neighborhood and ask everyone to sign something. But unfortunately, the precedent is there unless they're here. I mean, we're not there yet. I don't think anyone up here is rallying against that.
And there's still also a couple of other things from the memo,
Right.
too, that we
Yeah.
have to get to, so.
Understood.
I missed it. Thank you for catching it. In the architectural comments, it was noted It's recommended that an additional column be considered on the porch to enhance appearance and structural balance. That's acceptable.
Yeah, my architect, I thought he was going to be here. I'll discuss it with him, but I have no immediate concerns.
Yeah, it's a
with that
fairly minor
recommendation.
comment. It seems, okay.
So you would agree to that, to
Yeah.
do that? I mean, assuming it's architecturally feasible, you'll,
Yeah, I'm just assuming, without having spoken to Chris, without having spoken to Miguel, if I zoom in here, that it would
Right.
go here.
Correct.
right,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Right.
It's a minor point. If that will help it not collapse when we have a heavy snow, great.
We just have to make a formal memorialization of everything, so you're agreeing to do that? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Were there any other ones I missed?
Just that the planner also asked that a new as-built survey be provided prior to the issuance of a final certificate of occupancy. So just another,
Can you just explain that a bit further?
So you've provided the marked up survey that you obtained when you purchased the house and it was drawn over. What he's asking for is post-construction that a new survey be prepared for.
Understood. Acceptable.
Okay. Okay. Are there any other questions from the board at this time? Okay, so part of our procedures is we now have to open up to the public for any questions or comments on this application. So if there are any questions or comments, if you said your neighbor wanted to back you up.
Well, I hope, but
Well.
if you're up here.
Well, if you don't feel like testifying, you don't have to. I said if you don't feel like testifying, you don't have to say anything. I just, he, okay.
we're just gonna,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna swear you in, sir. So, hey, just talking to the microphone and just, you're gonna give a comment, so. You swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, just state your name and
Yeah,
spell
Jim-
your last for the record.
Jim Kovach. I live at 88 Upland,
And how do you spell your last name?
Kovach.
Okay.
I've been there, this February will be 42 years. And I have no problem with Scott putting an addition on the house, and I do not want sidewalks. I don't see how you could make him put sidewalks in when there's not one house in the neighborhood that has sidewalks. And there's been a lot of additions, new houses put in, and nobody put sidewalks in. So how could you force him to put sidewalks in? I just don't understand.
I just wanted to explain the code. It has just a specific regulation that anything that's put in that has an excess of 500 square feet, any additional work, it's just triggered. So maybe they came through this process before, maybe they've done other things where they gotten the waiver or things about the sidewalk, but like in this typical situation, they're thinking about it, they're gonna think about, are we gonna make it a requirement or are we gonna waive it? So maybe those other properties went through the same
In that case, I hope it gets
process.
waived like, it seems like everybody else has got waived,
Right.
That'll
Yeah,
be up to them.
yeah,
okay?
yeah, but that's how the process works is, you know,
Okay.
certain things trigger it, certain things don't, and the board has no control over it. So,
Okay.
so, thank you for coming.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I'll do this. Anyone else from the public? Seeing none, we can officially close the public portion. There's any additional follow-up thoughts from the board before we take action? Okay.
I actually just wanted clarification, I'm sorry, from normally our board planner goes through a lot of this stuff. There's one little thing here. In his memo, he said some foundation plantings may need to be relocated or replaced following the installation of a second AC condenser unit. Can you agree to a condition of approval that if the AC condenser unit necessitates relocation, you won't have an issue with it?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
thank you.
So if the application were granted tonight, it would be on the basis of the landscaping and architectural, pieces that was agreed to by the applicant, as well as the understanding by the board that there's adequate street parking, that no waivers or anything needs to be granted, and I don't think there was other conditions. So again, thank you for, a lot of times when the applicant comes without an attorney and does their own thing, it's, in many ways, certainly not as thorough as what you've given us tonight. So thank you for preparing, and thank you for being so thoughtful with it.
You're welcome.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Did we address the fence comment? Existing fence within a front yard area shall be 50% open, less than 50% existing and proposed. Do you even have a fence since you have 3 front yards?
He has that.
Could you ask just that last question? I'm
Do
sorry.
you have a fence currently existing? Okay. Is that towards the Oakland
Correct.
side? Perfect. Makes sense because everyone parks there.
Okay.
Correct.
Right.
This was originally installed by the previous owner. It's completely hidden from view on the Oakland side. By the
Well
laurel
done. I
hedge.
didn't even know it was there.
Yeah.
And obviously that meets the current code because it's less than 4 feet. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just asking because it's mentioned on the memo. I want it noted that, we're looking and, you have a very strange property. You have 3 front yards. That's how you have to think of this. So
Not strange.
strange.
Unique.
Unique. You have
Congratulations.
an eccentric property with 3 front yards. So a lot of this, as we started this off with, is not your fault. No one's out to get your family or your address. It's that with these codes the way they exist, you're triggered that you have 3 front yards, and that's why we're looking at all of these things. So just thank you for your patience.
Understood. Thank you.
Oh, 20. Exist. Okay. Okay, so based on the existing non-conforming zoning of the property, would somebody like to make a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second,
We noted architectural and landscape, we didn't verify the sidewalk aspect. So
right?
I'm putting forth that I think what the applicant is asking for is a waiver.
Waiver.
So what would be considered here right now, and maybe do the first and second again, would be based on that waiver being in place.
Correct.
So,
Motion to approve with the waiver on the sidewalk requirement.
Second,
Sorry. Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Vice Chair Rubinowitz?
Yes.
Ms. Sealski?
yes.
Mr. Sondergaard?
Yes.
Mr. Tobin?
No.
Chairman Topping?
yes.
Mr. Sukon?
Yes.
I believe that's all we need.
Okay, thank you. Good luck. As you saw at the beginning of this meeting, we approved resolutions from last meeting. So a resolution will be prepared, and if you need to, start your permit process, that would be, at your own risk if you wanted to start the permit process.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay.
That's it? We're done?
That's it.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
Congrats.
Good luck.
Sorry it didn't end with more of a bang, but
I'm sorry I called your house weird. I didn't mean it.
Congratulate him on the 3 front yards.
yes.
Sorry.
Called the land weird. The
Yeah.
house is beautiful.
Yeah, your land is not strange. It's
like
unique.
weird.
I'm strange.
I didn't mean weird. I just meant 3 front yards is unusual.
Okay.
I mean, I look at it as he's winning. He's got 3 front yards. Most people only have 1.
So I think we can,
We have to approve
motion to
minutes.
close the public portion?
Motion to close the public portion.
Okay. Sondergaard's motion, I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. And before we adjourn, I just wanted to give kind of an update of, some of you on the board were there last night for the master plan hearing.
It was amazing.
The master plan process is well well on its way. I think we're going to get a lot of good data to make some conclusions, and I don't know if eventually that's going to change what some of the zoning ends up needing to be, but there was a community event, and I would say hundreds of people came out and participated. There was a lot of information sharing, and Chris Cosenza and LRK is back crunching all of those numbers. And if you have not seen it yet, there's an active survey for people in town to fill out. And I think in one night, they have over 200 responses. So Metuchen is proving itself in this full master plan application to be thoughtful and community-oriented, like we always thought Metuchen was when we all moved here, when each of us made that decision to be part of the town. So that's the master plan update process. And just wanted everyone here to be aware of it.
The online survey is quite thorough, too. I was very impressed with it. It's better than most.
Yeah, I have not done it yet, but look forward to. So with that, I will make a motion to adjourn.
You have minutes
I'm
to
sorry.
approve?
We have the October 9th minutes.
Oh, I didn't see those.
Oh, I did not see that.
Yeah,
I don't think they were
I don't have them.
distributed yet.
Okay.
So,
Then never mind. Thank
no,
you.
no, yeah, we will postpone the approval of those minutes. So, okay. I heard somebody second it. All in favor? Aye.
I second that, I think.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
And
Thank you.